Welcome and thank you for joining us for another episode of Catholicism Unwrapped. I'm Father Andy Vogel.
I'm Father Andy Bierman.
In this episode, we will be talking about
Jesus descended into hell. What does that mean when we say that in the creed?
The creed. That would be the Apostles' Creed, because it's not necessarily said in the Nicene Creed.
No, I don't think so. We are your hosts, Father Andy the Greater and Father Andy the Lesser.
Buckle up, we've got a lot to cover. This is Catholicism Unwrapped. So before we get to that, what have you been up to?
Well, I would like to say we went golfing today because it was so nice out, but
yes, it's like over 60 degrees or close.
We couldn't for various reasons.
Namely a surgery.
Right.
To be and my left elbow hurts, which is maybe not very a valid excuse. But we did that other lesser golf, at least in my mind. We did a frisbee golf. Or what is it called? Disc golf.
Disc golf, yeah. Because frisbee is a brand name, technically.
Oh, sorry. Hopefully we don't get dinged for that.
Right. Yeah, like we did the other time.
So, let's see. What else?
How about you?
I had a wedding this past weekend. The groom was one of my students at the Newman Center at Minnesota State. And so, wonderful couple, but they got engaged 4 weeks after they met each other.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say 4 weeks ago.
No, they did the proper 6 months of marriage prep. Yeah. So, when they came to my office, I was like, for the Form 1, I was like, so how long have you known your intended spouse? At that point, I think it was like 6 weeks. I was like, oh, no, not how long have you been engaged, but how long have you known your intended spouse? 6 weeks. I was like,
been engaged for 2 weeks.
Great. Going on. No, they're a great couple. I expect great things from them. So maybe lots of Catholic children, God willing.
That's good, yeah.
So
that's always the prayer that I pray for the nuptial blessing.
Yes.
I say, here's your chance to pray for this couple and how you want God to bless them with their marriage. Like give them 12 children or whatever it might be. And they always laugh, but
12 should be like normal.
Secretly, they don't know that's what I'm praying for them.
Exactly. So we need to normalize large families again.
Right.
So
because God loves children.
God loves children.
Like Mother Teresa said, how can we say there's too many children? That's like saying there's too many flowers.
Yeah, exactly. So, and if couples are having sex at a regular intervals, we should expect children to come from that.
Right.
So
that's another whole topic though, which we covered already.
Yeah, maybe. So
okay.
So
the question that
people of the Old Testament did not go to heaven. They went to some other place. Even the good people.
Right.
So maybe this is off topic already, but is there time in heaven?
I think there is a certain kind of time. I think St. Thomas calls it aviternity, which is different from eternity.
Okay.
Which is where God dwells. For him, there is no time. Everything is
he is outside of time.
Outside of time, yeah. But aviternity, time is a measurement of change. And so we can't really
still debate in science, but that's a whole nother topic.
We can't notice the passing of time unless we see things changing.
Okay.
And so the time is going to be different, obviously, in purgatory and in heaven than it is here on earth.
Okay.
Like a short time in purgatory may seem to the person there like 1,000 years.
Yes.
Because I think there was that story of the two priests who made an agreement with each other. Like whoever died first, the other one would say mass for that priest on the Saturday after he died. And so one of them died on Friday. And then he appeared to the other priest like Friday evening, and he's like, "Are you going to say that mass or not? It's been like 100 years that I've been spending in purgatory." And he said, "No, it's still not Saturday. You just died today." So the passage of time is different.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So where did I don't know if this is commonly known, but you could not go to heaven before Jesus came to earth.
Yes.
Heaven was not a possibility.
So even in heaven, there was a demarcation before the death and resurrection and after the death and resurrection.
Right. In heaven, it was just the angels, I suppose you could say. No human beings were in heaven until Jesus.
Okay.
And heaven is being with God and seeing him face to face, the beatific vision.
The beatific vision, yep. So where did the souls, the Old Testament, saintly good souls go?
Yeah. Well, according to the Catechism and our theology, it's the place of the dead.
Okay.
And I think other traditions talked about that as well. Like there's the Greek tradition, you go into Hades and you cross the river Styx to get there.
Yep.
And there's the boatman who takes you across, named Charon, I think. Which is one of the moons of Pluto.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Or it's the other planet that
demoted.
Semi-planet, yeah, whatever. It's almost as big as Pluto, so they said maybe it's a planet too. Or maybe Pluto's not a planet.
No, Pluto got demoted. It's no longer a planet.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
I mean, that makes me personally sad, but this is a whole other topic.
Yeah, because we learned the 9 planets and
growing up.
That's wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, my childhood has been shattered, but that's another subject for another time.
Yeah. So there is, there's the Greek myths, like, is it, Perseus or whatever, those movies, he goes into the underworld.
Okay.
Did you see it?
No.
The place of the dead, and he has to rescue someone who went there.
I feel like this is an okay thing that I haven't seen.
That's part of the mythology.
It's okay that I haven't seen it.
So there's different titles for this place, and that is Hades, that's the Greek word. Okay. Sheol would be the Hebrew word.
Okay.
Inferos in Latin, which is what the creed says. We translate it as hell, but it actually means the place of the dead, or the underworld. The netherworld is another. The
netherworld, yeah. The bosom of Abraham.
The bosom of Abraham, because Jesus talks about,
because that comes up in the Lazarus and the rich man, right?
Right. Yeah. In fact, it seems like all the people go there, whether they were good or bad, to this place.
Interesting. Okay.
Because the rich man is able to talk to Lazarus.
Yeah.
But then he says there's a chasm that separates us between us and you. We can't cross over.
Okay.
But I guess the debate was the rich man headed for hell?
That was always my assumption.
Or was he just in purgatory?
Yeah.
Some people argue, like, how could he have had a concern for his brothers if he was in hell?
So was there anyone in purgatory before the death and resurrection of Jesus?
Well, it's not real clear. I'm not sure there was a place called purgatory.
Okay.
Because it was the place of the dead is basically where
so
everyone
I see what
went.
you're saying. So there might not be anyone in hell.
Not even in hell either. Yeah.
But then what was the chasm then? If they're in the same place.
Yeah, and he was suffering in flames. So
I think the rich man was in hell.
Okay, could be. But he was in the same vicinity as Lazarus, though, and Abraham, because he talked to them.
Can the souls in hell not talk to the souls?
I don't.
Maybe not.
Well, doesn't it say he looked up and saw Lazarus?
Yeah, so
with Abraham.
So but it seems like they're in two different places.
Right. But I mean, he's within sight somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I could make up something, but I probably shouldn't do that.
I don't know. Sometimes it's fun.
It's fun. Okay. I could just preface it and say, this is my opinion.
So my opinion is that the rich man is in hell and Lazarus is in the bosom of Abraham.
Right. Which means he's going to go to heaven when Jesus comes.
Yep. Yeah.
So when he descended into hell, the Catechism actually talks about that he went to the place of the dead where all the other souls were gathered.
So the translation of the Apostles' Creed does make it confusing for some people.
Yeah. It would be better to say he descended to the dead.
Yes. To the place of the dead. Yeah.
But inferos in Latin just means the lower place.
Okay.
Like inferior. We get that word from that. Mm-hmm. The underworld.
Yeah.
Another title for it would be paradise. Because Jesus said to the thief on the cross, "Today you will be with me in paradise."
Okay.
And he was not in heaven with Jesus because Jesus didn't go to heaven. He went to the place of the dead.
Okay.
So when he said, "You will be with me in paradise," it means
because the bosom of Abraham is different than hell or even purgatory,
right.
Because it's like a natural. Like, it's a good place.
Yeah.
It just, you don't have the beatific vision.
Yeah, that's how
like, you're not in pain or suffering.
Right.
Like, even purgatory, there's like a refining fire.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, to get rid of our bad habits and stuff.
Right.
Purgatory is not like fun.
There's suffering involved.
Yeah, there's some suffering involved.
Yeah, I think that's how it was defined. That it's a place of natural happiness.
Yeah.
But not the beatific
vision. Yeah.
Or also known as limbo.
Yes.
Limbo of the fathers. Like the patriarchs, in other words.
Yes.
Abraham.
I mean, a whole other subject, but yeah, limbo comes up in what happens to babies that are not baptized. But that's
I think for a long time the church held that view that since Jesus said it's necessary to be baptized to get to heaven.
Yeah.
What happens to babies that are not baptized? They didn't sin themselves. Mm-hmm. But they weren't baptized. So is there that place of natural happiness known as limbo?
Yeah.
That they go to?
Yeah. And I think in Dante's Inferno, it's actually, in some ways, I mean, this is going to sound bad, but it's the first level of hell. Like, the top level of hell is just that, like, natural happiness. Yeah. They don't get the beatific vision, but there's a natural happiness.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like living on this earth, I suppose. I mean, we're with God in a certain sense here.
Yeah.
But I suppose you could argue like people who are not with God or not in the state of grace, they can still have a kind of natural happiness. Like they enjoy doing what they're doing or whatever.
So I think we're getting a little bit sidetracked, but that's okay.
So yeah, the International Theological Commission met a few years ago.
Yeah, I think it was like 2008 or 2009. Quite a while ago.
So it
was under Pope Benedict.
To look again at the question of limbo. And I think their conclusion was
we don't have one.
We inconclusive.
Yeah.
We can't rule out limbo because
Jesus said. I think too, so the tension, if we want to get into it, the tension is that Jesus says that baptism is necessary for salvation.
Right.
And we teach that, like, that baptism is the beginning of the life of grace.
Right.
But on the other hand, you have people who have tragically lost children, through miscarriages and infant deaths or whatever, that the children die before they could be baptized.
Right.
And so you have these, and so like, but the baby hasn't done anything wrong.
Right.
And so, like, why wouldn't God want that child with him?
Because there's another teaching that God desires all to be saved and gives sufficient grace for all to be saved.
Yeah. And so
for people to be excluded through no fault of their own.
Yeah.
Would go against that.
Yeah. And so, I think sometimes people have taught that, a human soul has potential for reason,
Yeah.
right? And so even though they're a a baby inside the womb or a little baby, they can't exercise those faculties of free will and reason. But once they quote leave the body, maybe God gives them a chance in their free will and reason to choose God or not.
Yeah, possibly. I teach the people, it's not really in the catechism, but there's baptism of blood and baptism of desire, which means had you known about it, you would have desired it.
Yeah, I think we're kind of saying the same thing. Like in that brief moment after death, would you choose Christ?
But I go further to say, like, parents bring in their children to have them baptized. So they're making the act of faith on behalf of their child.
Okay.
And so could it be that parents could desire
desire the baptism for their child? And if they do, then... Yeah.
So in other words, it would be probably helpful to say prayers for your child that was miscarried for their salvation.
Yeah, I think that was one of the outcomes of the commission, was that we don't give up hope, that we do pray for these souls.
Yeah, and that the Catechism says that too. It allows us to hope that there is a possibility of their salvation. Because Jesus said, "Let the children come to me."
Yep. Yeah, and so that was one of the clear outcomes of the commission, was that we don't give up hope, that we do pray for those souls that were miscarried or were somehow died before they were able to be baptized.
Right. So even if you were pregnant for just a month,
yes,
it would be good to pray for that child.
Or the children that parents aren't even aware.
Right.
Maybe they were conceived, but for whatever reason, the embryo didn't implant into the uterus. And so we believe that, every conception creates an eternal soul. And so there may be children that, parents aren't even aware of.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And we'll get to meet all those souls someday.
The innocent ones.
Yeah. So.
All right. So back to Sheol, or the underworld.
Yes.
So
that was a fun tangent. Anyways,
he descended into hell. So anyway, the souls were awaiting him, and there's an interesting point that the Catechism makes, is that the death of Jesus, the definition of death is separation of body and soul. Mm-hmm. But since Jesus was united to the Word, that is the second person of the Trinity.
Yeah.
His body and soul, though they were separated from each other, still were united to the Word.
Okay.
Which is being God's soul and God's body.
Yeah.
And so even in the grave, that's why he did not decay.
Okay.
Because it was the dead body of the Word of God, the Son, the second person of the Trinity. So that's kind of interesting to think about.
That is really,
and then that's what brought him back together again in the resurrection, the reunion of his body and soul.
So
there is a psalm, I think it's Psalm 16, that they quote after Pentecost. Mm-hmm. It is, "You did not allow my body to see decay, nor did you abandon my soul to the netherworld."
Okay.
And they said that can't really refer to David, even though he wrote it, because his body is still here. There's the grave of or the tomb of David is right under the upper room in Jerusalem. And so they said it has to refer to someone else, and that is Jesus. His body did not decay in the tomb, nor did his soul remain in the underworld, but he rose from the dead.
Yeah. So just to maybe review, maybe it's a little early for that, but to review, so before the death and resurrection of Jesus, there was heaven where the angels were. Right. There was Sheol, or the bosom of Abraham, where there's the souls of the Old Testament were. Yeah. And then there was hell, and
that's where demons were.
And
evil persons.
And evil persons. And then
human beings.
Yeah, evil human beings. And so after the resurrection, you then have heaven, hell, and purgatory.
Right.
And all the souls that were in the bosom of Abraham went to heaven, or did some of them go to purgatory? Or we don't know for sure.
We don't know for sure.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good question, because another question we thought of is, when exactly did the souls go to heaven? Like the souls of the Old Testament figures.
Yeah. Was it after the death, or was it after the resurrection?
Or the ascension.
Yeah.
So, in looking in the Catechism and other sources, it seems like it had to be at least after the resurrection.
Yep.
It does say he opened the gates of heaven by descending into the underworld.
Yep.
But when they went through those gates is only after the resurrection.
Yeah, that's what it would seem to be.
And you could also argue that it was the ascension, because it says that's when Jesus definitively entered heaven with his humanity.
Okay.
And so in a certain sense, he's the first human being to go to heaven.
Body and soul.
And so then others follow just in their soul for now.
Yeah. Yeah. But the resurrection of the dead at the end of time. Yeah.
The body.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you're free to believe either one, maybe. The resurrection or the ascension.
Okay. I think I'm going to stick with the resurrection.
Okay.
So, but anything else?
Well, there's a good book if you want to learn more about that, and that is a book called Eschatology, but written by Cardinal Ratzinger, who later became Pope Benedict.
Yeah, so he might know a thing or two.
And one of the questions he had in there is that this theory was thrown around by some theologians, is that when we die, do we kind of like fall asleep in our souls and then wake up at the resurrection of the body?
Okay, at the end of time, yeah.
Yeah, or like the next thing you know, you're at the resurrection, and the end of time, and the final judgment.
Okay.
And I think Seventh-day Adventists maybe teach that.
Okay, I don't know. I mean, I studied a little bit about Seventh-day Adventists in college, but I don't remember that part.
But he says no, that can't be the case, because if there's not that interval of time, because we'd have to say the soul goes out of existence, because the body continues to exist in the grave over this passage of time, all these years. And so the soul has to be also existing somewhere.
Well, I mean, we talk about the intercession of the saints, right? And so they have to have some knowledge of what's going on.
That's right. Yeah.
So
to intercede for us.
Yeah, so that seems to make more sense to me, that they're still alive.
Right. Yeah, so that and other interesting questions are covered in the book on eschatology, which is about the last things.
Yes, that's what eschatology means.
Death, judgment,
study
heaven,
of the
and
last
hell.
Things. Who would you say should read it? Like anyone, or is there kind of like, I assume it's Joseph Ratzinger, so I assume it's a little heady.
Yeah, you probably would have to know some philosophical terms and so forth beforehand.
Okay.
But this actually was our textbook for eschatology.
Okay, so it's relatively accessible then.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, it's interesting the way he writes. It's kind of like reading one of his encyclicals. Yeah. It's along those lines.
Yeah. Which is deep, but not overly complex.
Right. Yeah. Pope Benedict used to say, I used to think a sign of a great intellect is to be able to talk about very profound and deep things. But he says sometimes when they do that, it's not understandable to others. And so then he said, a sign of really great intellect is to be able to talk about and describe profound things in a simple way, in an understandable way.
Yeah.
Which I think he pulls off in his writings.
Yeah, which I would argue, yes, that he is able to do that. I think another great one at that is Scott Hahn.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
yeah.
But, I don't know. Some people who have taken his classes say, though, that's still, like, sometimes over their head.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Or Father Mike Schmitz, who calls himself the poor man's Bishop Barron.
That's only because he talks so fast.
Right.
I'm like, wait, I don't think this is on 2x speed. It's like, no, it is on 1x.
Yeah.
So, well, anyways, thank you for joining us for another episode of Catholicism Unwrapped.
Yeah, and in all things, ad maiorem Dei gloriam.
Should we try a couple more?
Okay. With different inflections, she said. We are your hosts, Father Andy the Greater and Father Andy the Lesser.
Buckle up. We've got a lot to cover. This is Catholicism Unwrapped.
That's a good one. Okay, should we do another one?
Should I do someone halfway serious?
We are your hosts, Father Andy the Greater and Father Andy the Lesser.
Buckle up, we've got a lot to cover. This is Catholicism Unwrapped. Good.
That sounded like a TV show. This is In Search of...
Dun, 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 dun. Tonight, so-and-so will be murdered.
Okay. Should we start the intro for this?
Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Catholicism Unwrapped.
I'm Father Andy Bierman.
And I'm Father Vogel. Andy Vogel. Something like that. Who am I? Something like that.
We have to let them know we're both Father Andys, I think, don't we?
Oh. Okay. Oh, well.
Start over.
Welcome, and thank you for another episode of Catholicism Unwrapped. Usually I go first.
Okay, go ahead.